tragic scene this evening. You're going to hear from our First Deputy Commissioner, Tanya Kinsella. Then you're going to hear from the NTA Chair, General Lieber. And then you're going to hear from our Chief of Transportation, our Chief of Transit, Michael Kemper. After that, we'll take some questions. Obviously, this is an active and ongoing investigation, so we won't be able to answer everything, but we'll do the best we can. All right, so first up is our First Deputy Commissioner, Tanya Kinsella.
Good evening, everyone. Today, another senseless act of violence occurred on our transit system. We have innocent victims, and we want New Yorkers to know that we will get you, whoever was responsible for this. With me today, I have Chief Kemper, the Chief of Transit, Richard Davey, he's the President of MTA, Commissioner Kaz Daughtry, Commissioner of the NYPD, and we will give a brief overview and preliminary overview of what occurred. And remember, this is still new, so just be mindful. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Jana Lieber. I'm the Chair and CEO of the MTA. I'm Jana Lieber. I'm the Chair and CEO of the MTA. Listen, New York's heart breaks. New York's heart breaks when people are headed home and kids who are coming home from school to do their homework are subjected to random acts of violence like what occurred here late this afternoon. New York's heart breaks when guns are on the streets, even though the mayor and the governor are doing everything possible to get guns off the streets. There have been progress getting guns off the streets. The governor is fighting in the courts to make sure that people don't have the right to bring guns into our public spaces. But New York's heart breaks when this happens, senseless acts of violence of this kind. I spoke to the governor earlier, and she wanted me to express her confidence that the NYPD, who is the best in the business, is going to catch this guy, whoever it is. But in the meantime, our hearts go out to the victims, the 5 people who are injured, and also the person whose life was lost. We have made tremendous progress fighting back against transit crime with an amazing transit bureau. But right now, we're in mourning and determined to fight back against guns in our streets. Thank you. We're going to keep working at it every day.
So good evening. I'm Chief Michael Kemper. I'm the Chief of Transit for the NYPD. Let me start right off by saying we don't believe this was a random shooting. We don't believe this was just an individual shooting indiscriminately onto a train. We believe this shooting all stemmed from a dispute between 2 groups that started on a train. All right, so let me start with, did everyone hear that? All right, so let me start off by saying this. We don't believe this was a random shooting. We do not believe that this was an individual indiscriminately firing into a train or in a train station. This incident today occurred, or was as a result of 2 groups that started fighting while on a train. And I'll walk you through a preliminary story, okay? So this afternoon at about 4:35 p.m., there were multiple 911 calls for police to respond to the Mount Eden train station for shots fired. The police officers arrive. They go up to the northbound platform of the 4 train, and they come upon 6 people who were shot. Of the 6 people that were shot, there's 4 males and 2 females, and their ages range from 14 to 71 years old. All 6 victims were taken to local hospitals, and unfortunately one of the victims, a 34-year-old, was pronounced deceased as a result of being shot. As we stand here right now, detectives are on scene. This is a very active investigation. Detectives are on scene. They're interviewing witnesses, collecting video, collecting forensic evidence. But what we have, or what we know right now, is there were 2 groups of teenagers riding a northbound 4 train when a dispute occurred. As the train pulled into the Mount Eden station, the doors opened up, and at least one of the individuals in that group, or in the 2 groups, took out a gun and fired shots. People started running off the train onto the platform, and more shots were fired while on the platform. And that's when and where our victims were shot. Again, if anyone has any information in relation to this case, we urge you to call our Crime Stoppers hotline at 1-800-577-TIPS. And look, let me end it with what the First Deputy Commissioner stated and what Chairman John Oliva stated. This is unacceptable. And when detectives make an arrest, and notice I said when, because I'm very confident they will, there must be swift, immediate, strong consequences. Thank you. Questions?
Yeah. I'm going to go just from left to right. There's a lot of people here, and I'll go from left to right. Go.
The 34-year-old died, male or female?
It's going to be a male. Next. Dean?
So, Dean, it's going to be a mix. So preliminarily right now, we believe that we may have some people that were shot that were part of the two groups, and we have people that were not part of the groups that were either on a train or on a platform waiting for a train.
Are there surveillance images? Are there working cameras at this stage?
Let also
Yeah.
Yeah, your question was,
Are there surveillance images of the suspect?
yeah,
Working cameras at this stage?
yeah. Transit Authority responded immediately to the scene and downloaded the video, and our investigators are viewing it at this moment.
As soon as we have some good still images to get out or some video that we want to get out, we'll do that, and we'll get it out to the press through DCPI. That's all under investigation. Okay.
Was there any gunfire on the train itself, or did all the shooting happen on the train?
Right now, we believe the shooting started when the train pulled into the station. The doors were open, and as people were exiting the train, we believe at least one shot was fired at that time.
Just to clarify, a shot was fired inside the subway bar.
We believe so, yes.
The 34-year-old who was not, was that an innocent bystander, or was that individual part of part of the fighting, or
That's all part of the investigation.
How many suspects? Just the one suspect for right now that you're looking for?
Right now, we know we're looking for at least one, but that's all part of the investigation. Do we got any more?
we were told by witnesses that there were at least 2 teenage girls that were injured. Can you confirm that? And was one shot, a lot of the shots were all shot in the face?
So, yeah, so we're not going to release names, obviously. I said there were 4 victims. I'm sorry, 6 victims. 4 of the victims are males. 2 of them are females. The females' ages are 29 years old and 14 years old. And their injuries are not life-threatening, fortunately.
We're not going to get into that. All right. So he's giving you the age ranges and the injuries. We're not going to get into specifics of who was shot where right now. All of that's part of our investigation, and it's not pertinent to getting the shooter off the street. All right. I got time for one more, but
Ages of the males.
what's that?
The ages of the males.
Ages of the males.
So the males are, you got a female 14, you got a male 15, you got a male 34, you have a male 28, a female 29, and a male 71.
All right, so at this time, we'll take 1 or 2 more, but just to the shooter. All right, you are now NYPD's most wanted, and you have the greatest detectives in the world looking for you. We suggest you turn yourself in, because you're not going to make it.
Chief, what's your message to people who are afraid of riding the subway when you hear about something?
Look, this is not the norm. That's why we're all out here right now, outraged, because this is not the norm. Shootings were down last year. To have a shooting like this in the subway system is extremely rare and unacceptable. So my message to people is just what I just said. Subway system is safe. This is not the norm. This is not indicative to what goes on in the subway system. The bigger message is, or the bigger question is why do people feel emboldened to pull guns out and shoot them? There must be consequences when these arrests are made.
All right, thank you, everybody. If you got any extra questions, any information, you can follow up through DCP, all right? Have a good night. Have a safe